Welcome to 1111 Crime Story. No, True Crime. That's my other channel. We do have an 1111 Crime Story, but not here. Sorry about that. Now you know you're live with me. No editing. I really wanted to move on, and I have another case I'm starting. And I'm like looking into that case, but I get pulled back, right? Sucked back into the Jay Slater case. And I know there's going to be those out there that are going to be like, you need to let it go. You need to quit being like this. And yeah. I get it. But there's some stuff I don't understand. And when I don't understand, I want answers. So I'm coming to family, 1111 family. And I'm going to just put this out there and let's see what your thoughts are on it. One thing for sure is something weird is floating around the internet that allegedly could be a hoax. I'm just saying, could be a hoax. So somebody snuck in a camera and filmed. Link down below. I'm not sharing it. I mean, I'm sharing what I watched. They filmed the funeral for about an hour, and about 48 minutes into the video, a man approaches this person, allegedly, because it could be a hoax, right? But there's a recording on that. And one of the things so I put it through a sound system that kind of like takes the music and pushes it back, because they've got music blaring on the video at the funeral. I mean, it's so loud. But I was able to pick up some words, and the guy approaches the guy that's filming. It looks like he's got like a chest camera. So you're seeing the backs of a lot of people and so forth. About 48 minutes into it, a guy approaches him and says, "Are you local? Are you local?" Then there's about a half a minute maybe of you can't hear anything but music. But I'm just saying from my perspective. Everything's what I think. All right? You're going to have to go listen to it. Decide for yourself. Do your own research. Listen to it. There's so much to it. I could only make out a few words, and even that, I'm like, okay, did somebody film the video of the funeral and then overlay the sound of this conversation, and why would they? And then the conversation is alleging that the family's being lied to. So here's what I got. Now, there's a lot more to it. Go check it out. Are you local? Are you local? Guy 1 is the one approaching the person with the camera. Guy 2 is the guy responding with the camera. So guy 1 comes up and says, "Are you local? Are you local?" And then I can't hear what he says, but then he says, "Fell into a ravine." We're at Jay's funeral. So I'm like, okay. Second guy says, "All right, yeah. First guy says, and then I can't hear what he says. He says, and then blah, 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 blah. And then it picks back up and I can hear again. It said, one person's in the officers was there. I don't know what that means, but he said, one person's in the officers was there. And then very clearly, one of the most clear statements is, we need to map out that ravine. He says that twice. He says, we need to map out that ravine. And the other guy answers and says, yeah. And this guy says, yeah, confirmation. Then a bunch of stuff gets said, and I can't make it out, and I'm not going to pretend that I think I know. And then it says, the second guy says, or the guy approaching the guy with the camera, first guy, sorry, says, caught several guard lying to the family. Caught several guard lying to the family. And then I have no idea if I'm hearing this right, probably not, but then he says, bing-lingy, or something like that. And it could be completely different on that part. But I'm like, okay, is the video been tampered with? Is it a hoax? Did somebody take a different conversation and plant it over this? Now, if you continue to listen to this conversation, he says, "Are you a reporter?" And the guy says, "No." And he says, "Oh, well, that's why I was telling you all this." Dun, dun, dun. If it is an overlay, okay, if it is a separate time that this was recorded and then overlaid Jay's funeral, why and by who? And if it's not, who is this talking? Some are alleging that it's Chris P. I don't think so. I do hear the word Chris in the beginning, the name, but I don't know if that's the person introducing themselves or if they're talking about a person named Chris, but it was so confusing. So I was like, I have a lot of problems with whoever called in the tip with Jay, because how did they find him? How did they know he was there? All that kind of stuff. And I have a clip I want to share. It's before Jay was found, of Chris Tenerife is what they call him, or Chris P. I have a couple clips, but I'm going to play one for sure. That is before Jay was found, where he guarantees where Jay is. And it wouldn't matter, but he's right. That is where Jay ends up being found. So I'm just like anybody else that likes to sleuth, and I start looking up Facebooks and start looking at Chris, and he's, from what I can tell, he was into big time real estate, and it looks like a fighting organization, big time fighting organization. And so I looked back through it all, and I'm like, okay, I'm just checking. I might not even have the right guy. They look identical. They sound identical. One's a little younger, but I could be wrong. I just found that strange. I find it strange that there's rumors that Chris P. or Tenerife was the one that tipped off the guards. And then I want to show you this. But first, we are live, so I want to say hello to family. Hello, lovely. She's saying if you didn't hit that like button, do it. Thank you. Thank you all for the support of the channel. We're doing wonderful, and it's because of you. But yes, I do have another case to work on. Jarrett Brooks. Jarrett Brooks. What is going on? So we'll be doing that probably tomorrow. I have a little bit more research to do before I can present his story, but it's going to be like a what is going on here moment. So I didn't want to leave this, though. I want to share a couple clips with you that kind of stuck with me, that I want to just get it off my chest before I move on, unless something else comes up. I wish I could play that funeral conversation because there's so much to it. But one, it's a funeral. I'm not going to do it. Two, it has music on it and would get me copyrighted. Not going to do it. And three, I don't know that channel and they could copy strike me, so I'm not going to do it. But it's weird. Hey, Sam R. Hey, Sassy Sass. How are you? Good to see you. Hi, Sue. If you're on replay, I greatly appreciate you, but you can fast forward through the little 3-minute, it's not even 30 seconds of meet and greets. Hi, Linda. Lita Duplice, thank you. Hello, lovely. Jennyville is here. You're actually here. She says, hey, is this live? Yes, it is. Chemical Romance. I've never heard that name. I love that name. Oh, Chemical. Ooh, Criminal Romance would be a weird name, too. It's his ops manager who was in UK watching his GPS called Luggy from Wales. Okay. I know there's something to this, y'all. This is weird. Okay, all right. Thank you. Thank you, Chemical Romance. He says, because I don't know, boy or girl, you can hear himself say he's luggy. That's what it is, not lingy, luggy. That makes sense because I heard it, but I'm like, what am I hearing? And I have a different dialect. I'm not even from that area. I'm from the United States, northern and south. I'm from the south originally. I don't fit in nowhere, so I can barely talk English. Hey, Penny Snape, hello. I can't even say hello. Yes, a new case tomorrow. It is going to sit you on the edge of your seat, and we're going to dig in with both shovels. I'm just saying, what's going on? Hey, Linda. Renee Lowry, good to see you, Steve. The Cockney says, hello, TC. Sad days in London today. What? Another knife attack on an 11-year-old girl and her 34-year-old mother in broad daylight in London. Leicester Square. Oh, I don't even know how to respond other than horrific feelings of dread. What is going on? That's horrible. I pray for them. I pray for their families. Hi, Angie. How are you, lovely? Hey, Linda, Victoria, Charlene. Good to see you all. All right, so I wanted you to think about this. And I am not accusing anybody. I am asking a legitimate question that I do not have any inkling nor answer for. And that's why I come on here. Because that's what you guys do, is you feed me back some information like that just happened, so I get some answers. So most YouTube creators come on here and they're like, I have all the answers, and here they are. Not Mama D. I got more questions. It's just the way I roll. Let's jump over to our half screen. I'm going to lose chat for a minute, y'all. Just give me a second. We're going to listen to Chris Tenerife guarantee days before Jay is found exactly where he will be and exactly what happened to him. Days before, I mean, legitimately well before the body's found. Now, I'm not accusing him of knowing anything. I'm asking, how did he know? And you could be like, well, he searched the whole area all that time, blah, 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 blah. You couldn't see down there. How did he know for sure, 100%, that Jay even went that way for real? How could he say, I guarantee? That's a solid promise. Is it just being overconfident? Or did he have secret knowledge gifted to him through being local? Okay? We all know in your town, rumors get around and you hear what happened. Maybe it's a little bit off, but if you pull off all the leaves, you can get back to the very bottom of the root, and the root is usually true. Okay? So I'm just wondering, how did he know?
Training. Once you're in it, you're in a man trap and you can't get out. That means Jay, the poor boy, is stuck down there, but all of this noise around the situation is distracting everyone, including the police, away from the truth. What we need to do right now is we need to get the Guardia Civil back on the land up in Masca. We need to get a specialist military unit back on the land up in Masca, and we need to go and look for this boy who's had a very unfortunate misfortune, probably fallen off cliffs hundreds of feet high.
How did he know that? Yes, it's a suspicion we all had. It could happen. But we all, I mean, so many of us are like, it was broad daylight. you could see that the road ended. The trail ended. It just went to nothing. And so we have a lot of doubt that he would do that. Even after knowing that his body was found at that location, allegedly. But Chris is nailing it well before they found Jay. And I'm like, that specific, you went, it's almost, how do I put it? I got red flags because it's not what you would expect to have found Jay at. You wouldn't, that isn't the expected outcome. So it's the most unexpected that he would go that way. That in broad daylight, he would just fall off a cliff and die. That's the unexpected. That's the least expected in my book. Because why would a kid just take off in the middle of the day, avoid all the roads, all the photographers that are there for sightseeing, the hikers? It's a busy time in the morning. I'm going to play that little clip about how busy the area is at the time that Jay is there. We have not one witness that even puts Jay there other than Ophelia, who works for the place. I mean, a paid interview, if you follow me. All right? So what made him, and I'm just asking, what made him so absolutely sure that he's about to stamp what he said with a "I guarantee" moment? And I'm like, I personally, I couldn't guarantee you where a missing kid was if I didn't already know. Because what if you're wrong and you have diverted all of these funding and all these people and everything, and he's not there? You're staking your reputation and everything on a moment, and you're stamping an "I guarantee" to it? Let me pull this back a minute. I want you to listen to what he's telling you. I'm just going to pull it back a little bit.
Do right now is we need to get the Guardia Civil back on the land up in Masca. We need to get a specialist military unit back on the land up in Masca, and we need to go and look for this boy who's had a very unfortunate misfortune, probably fallen off cliffs hundreds of feet high, and he's stuck at the bottom of it like a bag of bones. We need specialist military and police people to go there and research it so that the family can have peace and closure. And I guarantee you, if the military go up there, they will find him.
Whoa. Back it up. This is where my red flag goes off. I'm like, how could you do that? How did you know that?
And closure.
Listen.
And I guarantee you, if the military go up there, they will find him. But they've stopped looking.
So how can he give a guarantee like that, y'all? That bothered me. Well before Jay is actually found. Jenny, this guy is called Chris. Tenerife is his alias. Or Chris P. I'm not going to say his last name because why? I did a little research on him. He was very heavily, from everything that I know, from what I'm seeing online, a guy that looks just like him, that has his name, I'm just saying, just a little bit younger, was heavily into real estate, like big time, and big time, I don't even want to say it's a big company in fighting, like boom, 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 which bothers me when I hear Ahab talking about play fighting and there possibly being bruising on Brad's face, Brandon not showing his face, Lucy's got her back to the camera. We're not seeing these people, and why aren't they wanting to show their face if they're going to give an interview? So I just found it strange. I want to play another clip Let me get it ready. We'll cue it up.
Come off.
Okay. So let's do this. Let's get back over to chat for just a second. Then we're going to get into the second clip. Now, this is also Chris. And this is before the video that we just watched. But I found something very peculiar, a couple things, very strange, that don't make sense to me. So we'll get into it. Chemical Romance says, oh, let me see here. There. Pin it. Chemical Romance says, when Chris was in Masca, Luggy was ops in UK, making sure he's safe on GPS, etc. Have you not seen the conversation online between Luggy and Chris? Nope. Luggy mentions there's things going to come out. Okay. That they can't talk about at the moment. Okay. I'm just saying, I'm picking up. Some ain't playing out right here. It's like somehow Chris seemed to, in my humble opinion, know a lot more than he was sharing with us. He just, other than he was saying, I guarantee, it really bothered me. Sam says, I found it very strange he knew where he was and he was pushing the narrative that Jay went off-road and there was no Rolex. All right, I want to show you this, you guys.
Come
okay,
off.
wait, let's jump over so you can see it. So, supposedly, it is so horrific of the journey that he's gotten this far in the video of coming down towards the ravine, that he's reached the bottom, allegedly, in this video. He's claiming he can't go any further. It's an impasse. And it's too hot. And he's all cut up. He's roughed up. He's in horrible shape from a tip that he had coming down this ravine. And now you'll see little broken bits of him coming back up. And he's explaining how horrific this journey has been. But I want you to look on him. And I'm very stickler for details. And here are my two problems. And y'all can come at me. I don't care. I'll just ignore it. Because I am a woman. And one of the things that makes me kind of queasy, and I know a lot of women like it, but I don't, is when a man has giant sweat rings underneath their arms, you know, because they went running, jogging, fighting, working out, climbing cliffs in the hot, you know, Tenerife area. And so they get sweat rings under them and they can't help it. But it kind of makes me queasy. And I thought that I would have seen that if the man just spent hours trying to cut his way and work his way through all this stuff, that he would show signs of sweat. And he doesn't. Like, he looks like he just came out of the laundry fresh. No big sweat, nothing. He's also a bald man. And I normally see tons of sweat all over their head when they're in the heat because they don't have Goldilocks to protect them. That's a problem I don't see. And then finally, with this video I'm going to show you is for somebody to sit there and say the F word repeatedly and tell somebody when somebody's like, you okay, mate? Fuck off, right? You've been through something. You don't even want that person asking you how you are. All right? But yet you're showing us cut up and tore up and it had you, but you don't have one injury, not one scratch on you. And I can see all your arms. I can see your clothing aren't tore. And you're not sweaty. It's like, I'm not buying this. And maybe you guys are going to hate me. I can't help you. I'm here to tell you what my red flags are. I'm just saying. Sorry if you disagree, but go ahead, disagree. You're fine. You're fine. Here you are, watching close. See if you see anything I don't see.
Like I say, once you're off, I ain't going back that way. Talk about being committed, so I need to get into that water crescent there. Follow that to the V-notch. And then I'm meeting Adrian at the RV point over there. Yeah, this is Luggy, I'm in the ravine, mate. Yeah, that was I took a few knocks coming down there. This is volcanic rock. If Jay made it this way, he's cut to ribbons, mate.
Cut to ribbons, mate.
The fucking rock just shreds you, mate. I'm going to head steadily down now, work my way through this until I get to the RV point with Adrian.
Just wait,
All right,
he'll be
mate.
on camera.
Well, this is the issue we've got now. I'm right down in the middle of the ravine. I'm stuck at the bottom because there's no way through.
No sweat rolling off of him.
To go back, I've got to go all the way back up
Yeah,
there.
he's glistening, but not like...
Oh, I've got to try and find the shelves.
Look, no sweat rings.
Work my way off where we wanted to go. Get back to a path and see if I can go another way. Fuck.
Okay, just hold on. Here it comes. He's going to be laying on the ground, and you can look for sweat. Because you just been through hell and back.
Mate, fucked, right? How was it?
Not any sweat.
Yeah, I'll view them all. I went down that other bit and then I ended up...
Oh man, I got stuck at the bottom of the ravine. There's no way through.
Look now, see how
Yeah,
cut up he is?
Yeah, I thought so.
The only way back was to come back up.
Yeah. Fucking shredded.
He's
Jesus.
shredded.
No, it's not too bad.
Look at that watch.
Yep. Alright.
What's going on? What in the world is going on? I am so tired of people trying to pull crap over on us. I just don't buy it. I know some of y'all are going to be all over me because you love him and he's a hero. I want you to listen to what he said again. Real quick,
Training.
just that part.
Once you're in it, stuck at the bottom of it like a bag off cliffs, misfortune, probably fallen off cliffs hundreds of feet high, and he's stuck at the bottom of it like a bag of bones. We need specialist military and police people to go there and research it so that the family can have peace and closure. And I guarantee you, if the military go up there, they will find him.
Now, how come he don't look no more sweaty when he was hiking than he does here? And how can he guarantee before Jay's body is found exactly where Jay will be? Guarantee. Let me explain something to you. When you put it out there that you can guarantee that you know where a missing person is and that you just want help to be able to give the family some peace, you damn sure better be able to walk that out. And Chris did. So how? So before I even knew that this even was said, I was all asking y'all, how in the hell could somebody know where that boy is found if he is found over a 100-foot or 500-foot cliff straight down where there's a canopy of trees? So how's this guy knowing that location before anybody's able to? What do you guys think? Where'd chat go? Okay, I found you. Let me jump back over. Grossum31 says if he knows that no one did anything to Jay and that he was up in the hills when, if he says, if the military will go, he guarantees they would find him, it's just common sense that he probably fell. You're missing my point. He's not saying there's a high probability Jay fell off the cliff. He doesn't use the words high probability. When you guarantee, listen to Lucy talk about he wouldn't go off. He wouldn't go off road. Listen to Lucy talk about he wouldn't go off. He wouldn't go off road. And maybe you don't like Lucy, maybe you don't trust Lucy, but we're still going to listen to it.
Back up here today. First of all, how are you feeling about the way things are? You know, it's 72 hours since you spoke to Jay.
Well, it's actually even been longer than 72 hours now. It was 72 hours at 8:30 this morning, and obviously that's a long time to be going without food, without water. And I just think with the amount of time that's gone by, I feel like a little bit more could have been done on the authorities' part over here. But yeah, it's been awful. Honestly, I've never been so worried in my life. Like, it's just the unknown as well. Like, you literally you don't know what's happened. You don't know where he's gone. Like, his last drop pin wasn't even on a road. Like, there's a reason he's gone off road, I think. Like, why has he not carried on the path? He's not a stupid boy. Do you know what?
So she's saying his last drop ping, Jay's last drop ping, wasn't on the road. In other words, whatever she is saying on his phone that was picked up, I just spit, wasn't on the path. It was elsewhere. Okay? And she's saying it don't make sense. He shouldn't be off the path. He's not a stupid boy. He wouldn't have left the path. He had to have a reason to leave the path. So if you're thinking about what she's sharing, if this is on the up and up, it would almost appear that he hadn't left the path when she's talking to him. That she found out much later that he had left the path off of a phone ping. Yet, we have Brad talking to Jay before Lucy, allegedly. And Brad is stating that he had stepped over and left the path, and he knew because there was gravel sounds. You wouldn't know just because of sound. Because those roads on the side, you could be standing between the road and the white bar little chiclets, right? The little Tic Tacs. And there could be gravel there, and you could be twisting your feet on it. So I don't believe that. You could have been just pushing dirt off with your foot as you talked, out of habit of scuffing up the dirt while you're on the phone. So I don't buy whole Brad's thing about leaving the path. I just don't. But then Brad also goes into he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do that. But there's more to what Lucy talks about in this interview, and I know you've heard it 1,000 times. But she's also telling you the truth. And that is, and I'm about to sneeze. First time on camera 5 times in a row. I don't think I've ever sneezed 5 times. Must have meant something. She's explaining how busy the activity is with human beings at that time in the morning because it's not hot and it's not cold. It's the time that everybody hits it. From photographers, for the hiking, for all the gift shops, for all the tourism. It's the height of the day, the busiest part for the Masca area.
I mean, like, he would have stayed on the road, like, it was at 8 a.m. as well, so...
Thank you for all
just
the
after 8
blessings.
a.m. So that's, like, the perfect time. It's not cold at night, it's not midday heat, so there's hikers, there's tourists, there's photographers, like, there's, like, people around. He's not stupid. He would know to stay on the road, and then he'd walk past someone and say, look, sorry, I'm lost. Like, I understand there's, like, the language barrier with some people, but someone...
So she's saying she knows there's a little bit of a language barrier, but there would be plenty of people to talk to and say, I'm lost, I don't know where I am, my phone isn't charged, all that. But we don't have anybody. None of them, none of the tourists ever saw this kid. None of them have ever come forward. Not one out of all the people there ever saw Jay Masca. if he's running around talking to old people about when the bus comes, trying to get a drink and cigarettes or whatever, talking to people on the phone, out and about, walking around, and nobody ever saw him, not even on the hiking path. He originally had to go on a hiking path, right? Or down a road. I mean, it doesn't just go right from the door of the Airbnb straight off a cliff. There's distance there, quite a bit. Nobody saw Jay. And that's what I think she's trying to get you to think of.
Would have been able to speak English, he would have been able to communicate efficiently to let them know that he had no phone, he had no water, and he was stuck up here.
He had no phone, he had no water, and he was stuck up here. When she says he has no phone, I think she means it had died. No working phone. I could be wrong, but she does say he had no phone, no water.
Like, why has he gone off the road? Like, there's unanswered questions, and I feel like they're not. I feel like they are doing some things, but I feel like they could try better to find out what's going on.
So, to me, that's weird. And then I have some questions about this. I'm gonna get them all out. We'll come back to you. We'll come back to it. We're gonna jump back up here, see what you guys are thinking. Steve the Cockney says, hi, Linda. And Linda says, oh, I just hiccuped. Sorry. I reckon one of the friends had Jay's phone to do the location ping. It's weird. It's weird. How did Chris Tenerife, I'm just going to call him that, how could he have known and guaranteed where Jay's body was found? How could he have known that days and days and days before? He guaranteed exactly where Jay would be found and leave that family at rest. He guaranteed it. And then that did happen. He was right. I mean, you might as well go in the missing person business, sir. Because you got a really good track record. I would like to know more about how you came to that conclusion. It is really busy in the village. Freddie Dobbs has a good video of it all. And the sea shops, cars, etc. Thank you, Allie Harris. Francisca Sarah says, I think he was thrown over the cliff. My opinion, friends involved. Allie Harris says there's also a back trail Jay could have taken. No one saw him. Also, Ophelia lady spoke about the bus. Is the sister of the real owner of the convicted ex-mayor or of El Tanku, who has a lot of Airbnb timeshares. All right, y'all, I'm just saying it's so weird to me about this guy. Hopefully it'll catch back up a bit of buffering going on. So that's my main things I wanted to talk to you about. Is it really seems weird when Chris is going through this entire search. He don't have no sweat on him. In Tenerife, he's saying he's all cut to shreds. He's shredded, mate, shredded. And he's showing his arms and everything. And I'm like, there's not a scratch on him. No blood, nothing. So how's he shredded like ribbons? I don't get that. And no sweat. Like, you know how a man will get big sweat rings? It's kind of good. Ooh, ooh, ooh. One of my best friends thinks that's so sexy. I'm like, is it just me? How do you refresh? I don't know. When YouTube acts up, I just keep going. Do I think a boat is involved? Yes, I sure do. I stand by my initial pulling of cards. I guess I'm going to leave this case unless something else comes up that we need to talk about. I always leave the door open on all cases. But I'm going to leave it right now where my belief is that Jay wasn't at the Airbnb, never went there. I believe that his body was brought by a boat and from shore, taken up in there and dumped, throwing his stuff down. Then there was a tip given to some of the searchers, being Chris. Chris knew he had a tip. He couldn't get to him. I believe all my hypothesis. And they found Jay. And I think Jay was alive a lot longer than they are even saying. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe there'll be a true inquisition. Like, they'll really dig in. You think a helicopter deposited in him? I don't think so. I seen what was she, 8-year-old, jump along and like parkour all the